good book. The Bord Gáis Energy Book Club.
Now, there's nothing nicer than snuggling up with a good book over the lazy Christmas days. Our Children's Book Club reviewers join us this morning with a selection of books that they would highly recommend. We've got Jack Massey, Clodagh Brennan and Luke Lally, who you've already met before and have proved themselves to be very accomplished reviewers. We've got 6 books to get through, so let's crack on. We're going to start straight away with Jack. Your first choice is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Old School. Why? Have you read all the other ones?
I've read all the other ones, yeah.
And you love them?
Yeah, they're all really good.
OK, so you're kind of well disposed to this before you got to it, were you?
Yeah, and it's funny because they're all like easy to read as well. So it's kind of for any ages.
It hasn't run out of steam yet, even for
Nope.
somebody like you?
Nope.
OK, and why do you find them funny?
Like, I kind of relate to them because he's the oldest kid in the family and he gets the blame for everything his siblings do. And I'm the youngest kid in the family and I get blamed for everything my siblings do. So I kind of relate to that with him.
It wouldn't be that maybe you deserve to get the blame, no?
No.
No,
Never.
no, OK. I noticed in the notes that you thought that Jeff Kinney actually gets being a kid of your age.
Yeah, it was like you were actually reading it through the eyes of a kid.
So that made it very realistic for you?
Yeah.
And very enjoyable. Right. What's the story of this one, basically, just very quickly?
His mom just kind of wants to bring back the old days and have 48 hours with no electronics in the town.
And he's going...
No.
And did you get that?
Yeah.
Do you, are you asked to switch off your electronics at home a lot?
Sometimes.
Yeah. And do you go, no way, Mum?
Well, I say yes, but then I just hide in my room and do them anyway.
Well, now she knows. Uh-oh. That didn't work out so well, did it? Right, Clodagh, your first choice is Grandpa's Great Escape, and this is by David Walliams. Yeah. OK, now do you know, David Walliams is turning into one of the most successful children's writers in the UK. Did you know anything about him in Little Britain? Have you ever seen any of those DVDs? Or do you only know him, say, from, you know, Britain's Got Talent?
I only know him from Britain's Got Talent and the books.
OK, right. Well, he was a very famous comedian, very successful one. But that's translated into his books very well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Grandpa's Great Escape is what about? What's it about?
Well, the grandpa, he thinks that he's in World War II and he always goes up onto the churches to get really high because he thinks he's flying his plane again. Grandpa's in a home, isn't he? Yeah.
OK. And is it a home for sort of people who've lost a few of their marbles? Is it?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. They've gone a little odd. Now, what's the escape about?
Well, they don't really like the home and the little boy thinks that there's something dodgy about it, so they plan an escape to try to get out.
Does he help his grandpa escape?
Yeah.
OK, right. And they escape successfully, do they?
Yeah, definitely.
And do they go on adventures when they escape?
No, not really.
Oh, it's just they escape and it's a chase, is it?
Yeah, but all the other people escape as well in the elderly home.
Right, what age would you say this book is for?
Kind of 10 to 12, I'd say.
OK, and would you recommend it?
Definitely.
Definitely. OK. Now you've read the other David Walliams books as well, have you?
Yeah.
So you're a fan
really
of his.
funny.
Is this the best one? Is it close to the top? Where would you rate it?
5 out of 5.
Very good. OK. Let's move to Luke's first choice. Luke, this is Keepers, the Box and the Dragonfly. OK. So tell me, what's it about?
It's about a boy named Horace who and it's set in Chicago, and he sees a sign with his name on it, and then he's brought into like an adventure with like a battle of good versus evil against these people named the Riven.
OK, is this set in a kind of a magical world, or is it set in our world?
Our world.
Our
but
world.
Then he kind of goes into another world.
So
but
he
still
crosses
in the
over.
exact same place.
Oh, so he's got a foot in either world, kind of thing. OK, so are there sort of goblins and fairies and magicians and sorcerers and all that sort of stuff in it?
No.
Are there people with superpowers in it?
So there's these objects, and they kind of give you a superpower. So this box shows him into the future exactly one day.
Oh, all right, OK. I'm just looking at the cover. I don't know whether have we had the cover on screen there or not, but I'm just looking at we've just had the cover on screen. It looks kind of scary.
It isn't.
It isn't?
Only when you get to the end, it might be scary for, like, little children.
Well, maybe you're braver than we are, you see. What age did you say that's for?
Maybe 9 to 12.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be for very smallies now.
Yeah.
OK, grand. All right. Well, and how many out of 10 or would you give that? How would you rate it?
10 out of 10.
Really? That good? Okay. Right, we go back down to Jack now. And Jack, your second book is Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer. And this is by Rick Riordan.
Yeah. So it's basically...
It's big, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's huge.
I had to read it in 3 days.
It's what?
I had to read it in 3 days, like 500 pages.
Wow. So how you wouldn't have time for anything else? But is it one of those books that once you get into it, that's it, you don't want to put it down?
Yeah, you just don't want to put it down at all.
So is it a sort of a magical fantasy world?
Yeah, it's like with all the Greek gods, like Zeus and Thor and all them. Because he discovers his dad is a Greek god, and then he gets killed. Like, he gets killed. Then he goes to this kind of heaven, but it's like for heroes. Then he has to try to break out and stop the end of the world.
Is it a bit like Percy Jackson?
Yeah, it's in the same world as that. The main character from Percy Jackson is his cousin in the book.
Okay, right. It wasn't written by the same man.
Yeah.
No. Or was it? Was
Yeah.
Percy Jackson written by... All right, okay. Yeah. And how would you rate that?
10 out of 10.
But obviously for a different age group, for the
at least 11 and up.
Okay. Right. Claudia, your second book is The Person Controller by David Baddiel, who also used to be a very famous comedian. I don't know if you knew that or not. Okay, so tell us about this.
Well, they're two twins, and they're really good at video games, and their dad, Eric, sat on one of their controllers and it broke, and they got a new controller, and they went on and they saw this really pretty controller, and they didn't buy it, but there was this magic man, and he gave it to them for free just for a test run, and they really liked it.
And is the clue to what's going on in the title of the book?
Yeah.
The controller controls people?
Yeah.
And do they get up to kind of all sorts of things with the person controller? Do they
Yeah.
make people do things that
That
strange
they never
things?
do before.
Really? And did
Yeah.
you enjoy the idea of that?
Yeah, it was really good.
Would you like a person controller?
Yeah, definitely.
Who would you use it on?
My mum and dad.
Oh, really? And what would you get them to do?
Be my slaves.
Are they out there watching? Right, that's The Person Controller by David Baddiel. Finally, we've got Demon Road by Derek Landy, and I don't know whether you had read any of his books before, Luke, but what did you think of this?
It was a very good book. So it's based on a 16-year-old girl, and there's a little bit of cursing in the book. So
Oh, really? Words you'd never heard before?
a lot of words.
That you'd never heard before?
No, I know them.
And where had you heard them? No, don't say anything, no, because we're already in trouble with one set of parents. There's a lot of demons and monsters and in this book, and Derek writes at a great pace. It's kind of like a journey across America, isn't it? Where they're being chased by...
It's basically a road trip chased by Amber's parents.
And the car plays a big part in it too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a Charger.
Okay, right. And did you
Whatever
like
it
this? A Dodge Charger. It's a famous type of American car. Did you like this book?
Yeah, it was brilliant.
And if you had to choose between one of the two of those, which one would you pick? Both the same? Okay, all right. Well, we'll leave it at that. That was Luke Lally, Claudia Brennan and Jack Massey. I want to thank you all very much indeed for your efforts, particularly you having to get through that in 3 days. I don't think I can get through it in 3 weeks.
I'm a speed reader.
You're top of the class. Listen, thank you all three of you very much indeed. We're going to take a break. We'll see you back here in a few moments.
Lose yourself in a good book. The Board Gosh Energy Book Club.